welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin, here with Meelz. What's up, Meelz? Did you miss me?
Hey, I did. You know what? I did. But I also feel like I didn't because I did listen to the War Report. So, but here's the thing. I never listened to our show. So I guess I never really listened to your takes on wrestling unless I'm talking to you about it. Now I think about it. But yeah, I haven't re-listened to the A show since probably like the first few episodes where I was like, damn, I was really good on this shit, man. Like we
Yeah,
could do
I
this.
listened to the CM Punk episode a lot. Have we told people
Yeah.
that we entered that episode into like this podcast competition? Have we told people that?
No, I haven't because I don't know. I wanted to be a surprise, but we did enter it into some sort of award thing. So hopefully, it's an award-winning episode. I doubt it. If you were
It's
like, "What
good.
the fuck are they talking about?"
When Raw. What the hell was that?
Rousing approval of our CM Punk episode.
I I listened to that, but I feel like us putting that out is like it's basically like the WWE trying to get an Emmy.
Yeah, essentially, or the challenge trying to get an Emmy. The challenge have never won an Emmy at all, ever, and
That's
they go so hard.
I feel like that's crazy that they haven't.
Nah, because RuPaul's Drag Race always wins it. And then I think this year it was actually someone else for the first time in like 11 years. But like, yeah, the challenge never won it. I don't think the real world has ever won it either, which is even more crazy considering we watched its last two real world homecomings and we thought they were like amazing television. But maybe it's us being of age of like remembering the original series. But even still, I think like outside of that, it was amazing television. But like, yeah, the things that have not won Emmys are crazy.
Yeah, we deserve it though. We
No,
deserve
we
it.
absolutely do. We absolutely do. With that said, yeah, man, listen, we've been me and you. I mean, I'm sure you had fun on the War Report. I'm sure you were able to kind of like let your vitriol fly with
There
fellow
was
vitriol flyer Cyrus.
here's my thing. Here's my thing.
Okay.
There wasn't that much vitriol. Okay,
No, it
it,
wasn't.
it was a legitimately not good show.
Of
Like
course, yeah.
there wasn't much for me to shit on if that
Of
was the
course.
case. I feel like I've provided more questions than I provided takes. Where I was just like, "What is this? Why are they
Sure.
doing this?" Even the I tried to give the Jade match some props. I felt like Quan and Cyrus was like, "No, that was not a good."
Well, they have more experience watching Jade matches on a week to week basis. And if I had to say anything, it's not that I don't think it was a good match. I just think the effort from her doesn't seem to be like I think you were spot on where you're like, even if she wasn't good in the match, I think the match was overall good itself.
Yeah,
But yeah, the match wasn't good because of her,
until they made
realistically.
until they made until they made like Kaya look like an idiot. Like I just felt,
Yeah,
and then turned her heel. And it's just like I hate when the people do that. I don't like when WWE does it. I don't like it, when any other wrestling show does it. Just because you lose, like there has to be like a build up. I feel like to making somebody go heel for losing a match. You know what I mean? You lost to someone undefeated. That is not a reason to become a bad guy. I don't know.
fair enough. Um, Listen, I love this for us in this kind of space that we're in because as we're recording our podcast, both of our teams are in the semifinals of the playoffs. So I love this for us
Yeah.
because I feel like we're winners in all of this. And who knows, maybe if there's a Knicks Lakers final by any stretch of the imagination, I think that would be the most insane, profitable
That'd be crazy.
series that has ever existed.
That'd be crazy.
Period.
Listen, I don't talk much. I haven't talked about the Lakers much during the regular season because
They were terrible for a large part of
they
it
were terrible until like February, and then
until they traded Russell Westbrook and got all these other pieces. Yes.
yeah, they were bad. But I look at the Knicks and I say, man, you guys look really, really good out there. I looked at the Lakers in the Grizzlies series and I was like kind of scared. I was like, when did we get this good? Like it was crazy. And again, the team goes as LeBron goes. We did lose like game 5 or whatever, a really stupid game to lose. But LeBron was just like, oh, I was terrible that game. And I was like, yeah, when you're terrible, like we're not gonna win. So like that's the one thing that's gonna kind of depend. That's gonna structure how we do in this next series against the Warriors, which I think is gonna be a ratings monster. But
Oh man, I can't wait for that. It's tonight. It's tonight.
is it?
Actually, yeah, it's tonight. It's at 10 o'clock tonight.
Oh,
Like
ooh.
7 o'clock for you. Seven
I
o'clock for
know.
you. But 10 o'clock for me, for sure. So that means after NXT, I may not even watch it. I haven't watched NXT in weeks, by the way. Just a heads up. I have not watched NXT thoroughly in weeks. Um,
Think this is the time to watch, to be honest, to see how they restructure the rosters with so many injuries on that roster right now, especially to the women, and top of the card for the men that to me is very unproven and needs a lot of work. I'm interested in seeing how HBK is going to shuffle the deck, because we'll talk about and rate the draft a little bit later.
they're gonna bring
There's
in
a
Dolph
lot
Ziggler or some shit like that.
I mean, there's a lot of women that are gone. There are a lot of women that are gone off that show now, and as far as the men, not much of a shakeup.
Well,
And
I
I
don't think they're gone, at least right now. I mean, Indy might be gone because she's hurt. But realistically, there are still champions and people who will be featured on the show, at least for tonight. And, you know, yeah, the other people would be gone for sure.
yeah,
Uh,
just for we'll talk about it later, but um, I I think it's tonight's episode will be interesting, and I'm interested to see how they shuffle it. Obviously, they're still going to be there until this is the last week they're going to be there, because the rosters take shape after Saturday, but how they're going to be integrated into. I feel like the women they called up could be put right in the mix, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But as far as Lakers and Knicks, I've seen in our Discord you and Mark going at each other, and it breaks my heart.
I was prepared for this
It breaks my
because
heart. It breaks
it
my heart.
doesn't break my heart at all. It doesn't break my heart at all. I don't think. I feel like it doesn't break my heart at all. The thing is that the Miami Heat are well coached team, um, featuring a very good Jimmy Butler at the moment. So it doesn't break my heart at all about anything that's kind of going on.
Mhm.
I don't think we're gonna lose this series even still, but it doesn't break my heart at all with the whole Mark
Confidence
thing because I expected Mark is a maniac. So
is that confidence? Is that confidence or sense?
no, it's a little bit of both. I think they're a well coached team, and Eric Spoelstra is great at adapting and coming up with plans and working things. So I think that's how a large part of how they took advantage of the Bucks series, along with Giannis being out for 2.5 games. Which Mark is going to be like asterisk. I bet you're going to put an asterisk by that. Yes, I would absolutely put an asterisk by that. He was out 2.5 games.
What if
Like
what if you hear the glass break and Mark's music plays and I put him on the mic right now?
if you put him on the mic, that's fine. I mean, bring him on. To be honest with you,
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But
bring him on. I have
I,
no
okay,
Miami Heat are a solid team.
y'all got injuries too. Y'all got injuries. Your
We got
injuries,
injuries too. Everyone's got injuries in this postseason, so it is what
except
it is.
for except for really us, the Lakers.
Yo, Braun hurt. Don't let it fool you. Braun,
Yeah.
Braun's like a leg. He went to the LeBron James of doctors, which means
Okay,
he's a big
but I'm saying
capper doctor.
I'm not. You capping down right now. Like it's in
I'm
terms of
not capping down.
reported injuries. I mean, I think the Warriors aren't. They don't have any like lingering injuries, right? Or any injuries that are reported. Lakers don't either. I mean, Chris
No,
Paul's
I mean not to anyone that's important. Like Andre Iguodala is out, but he hasn't been like a main focus on this team in a long ass
a
time.
long time. Yeah. So okay, my next question: do you think y'all can beat Boston in 4 games?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
absolutely do. So this is what I'm like hoping for this series. Like to be honest with you, I think if we did um get the Bucks, it would be a much harder series. And not to say that Miami Heat is easy, but they're definitely, if I'm picking between how we match up against the Bucks and how we match up against the Heat, I'm going for the Heat. So if there's a real opportunity, I mean the Heat can do it too, but there's a real opportunity to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and take out a team that one has either an injured Embiid or two has a kind of mentally lethargic Boston Celtics. So there's an actual path to the finals that can be taken, especially if the Knicks. I think the Knicks will be hungrier to be able to do it. Like the Celtics went to the finals last year. I don't think they're hungry as much as they were last year, to be honest with you. So I think there's an actual route to the finals. That's why I want to win this series so goddamn much, because I legitimately think if we win this series, we're going to the finals. I legitimately think so.
Okay. All right.
Like if
Well,
Embiid, I hope Embiid is still out because Embiid is a different monster. But listen,
Nixon Heat tonight, I believe.
Knicks and
Um,
Heat tonight, Lakers and Warriors tonight. We'll see how it goes.
Big money.
You know,
I'm saying
exactly.
the only thing that I wanted has already happened. So there's not much. I got no. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing with house money at this
Of
point. You feel
course, no,
me?
of course, of course, of
I got
course.
what
So
Jaws gone. Giannis is gone. I'm
this
winning.
is this is a very surprising
All my
semi-prime.
all my enemies burn. You feel me?
KD might go. To be honest with you, like it's
No, I need no. I need Jokic gone. So all my
he's
enemies
it's
aren't quite
it's looking
burned.
tough. It's looking tough. So here's the thing: it's like when you trade all your assets away. It's the thing that happened with the Lakers last year, right? Like, or maybe a couple years back, they traded for Davis while they did win the championship. So much of that core team ended up moving on that like last year they were picking up like anybody that they can who wanted to join the team. Like Malik
Yeah,
Monk was like averaging like fuck it. They had Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony, like damn near Michael Beasley at some point. Like they had so many random people featured on the team that it just didn't. This team is way more well constructed than it was last year. I don't know about the championship team in 2020, but it's definitely a last year way better constructed team. Everyone can play their roles. Everyone knows that the roles that they're playing. And when you're playing with LeBron James, you're automatically playing. You got Rui Hachimura, who was, I guess, dragging his feet on the Wizards, and now he putting up like 20 a game, um, because he playing LeBron. So yeah, man. It's definitely a good, thing. So I'm looking forward to this series. I'm kind of interested to see how this all shakes out. Quick question, since I asked Quan this last week as well. Did you finish Beef?
no,
Will
I
you
fall
finish
off,
Beef?
huh?
Will you finish it?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to.
I mean, here's my thing, right? I thought the first two episodes were really good. I think the show is interesting. I just have so much stuff to watch between like Succession, Barry, stuff like that. Like I'm going to finish Beef. You know what? I might start it today. I might start it up again today. It's just that I like when I'm about to start it, I'm like, ugh. Like it's a lot. Like that show is a lot every episode of it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a lot of shit going on. Like I'll finish it. I'll finish it.
yeah. Just so we could talk. I'm interested in seeing how the series completely shifts, and your response to it. So that's why I ask.
Okay. Oh, some freaky shit.
It's not well, there's some
Okay.
freaky
All
stuff,
right.
but like, yeah.
Okay. I wanna. This is gonna be like our draft post show, but also like our backlash prediction show. So I want to get a couple of news items out the way.
Okay.
Um.
There's quite a bit of news items this
Yeah.
week.
A couple news items. I wanted to, I guess circle back around to the CM Punk stuff. He showed up on Impact at the Impact tapings, a couple of days removed from him being at the Raw tapings as well. I heard what
Mhm.
you had to say about it. Pretty sure you heard what I had to say about it. What are your thoughts? Kind of a week out. Do you feel like Punk just has the wrestling bug? Because that's been the story that one of the FTR guys was saying. He's got the wrestling bug.
I mean, maybe he does. It seems like it so. Like we wondered, we was like when he showed up to Raw, we were like, is this nigga sick? Like Does he have some sort of terminal illness that he's coming to terms with and ending things with all of his enemies?
He looks like
Um,
it. He's also bald now.
he's bald now. I mean, fair. I feel like we're getting heel punk, because of the baldness. However, no, I mean it's a great look if he's going around and like yucking it up with all the. He's trying to get back into industry, trying to get back into good graces. He's checking shit out. I mean, at least it wasn't just WWE. So when he goes back to AEW, it's like, listen, I went everywhere, baby. I was there. I was there. I was at New Japan. I was at PWG. Like I got the wrestling bug. It's not just a, you know, I ain't just go to WWE to piss y'all off. I went everywhere.
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
just a fan of wrestling, is what he's going to say. And Tony Khan's gonna be like, yeah, I'll see
He
you
ain't gonna say,
Saturday.
yeah, he ain't gonna say shit. I mean, not much. I mean, we can get into AEW too. Like I last week, very, it seems though they've hit a peak of 800K here with this show. Like I know we said a couple weeks ago, like he might need to put Punk on TV sooner than later, and seems as though they're waiting. I mean, we're a month out. It looks as though they should be kind of building to this, but they have a pay per view to build to. So I'm actually interested in seeing how they integrate him back into the show.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be via the pay per view. Like I think, um, I don't know if he's gonna appear on the pay per view and then do a match proper on that Saturday, which is how I would do it. Um, but I feel like once we hit that pay per view bump, we'll head in that direction. But if they were smart enough, cool enough, they could do both, starting right now. But they're not. They're not as creative as we think. Um, Speaking of AEW, I have a bone to pick.
Oh boy.
Over the weekend, over last week, I guess, AEW, which shout out to I guess the people who design merch, but it's terrible, terrible merch. Just bad. All they turn everything into a shirt. You could slip on a banana peel and suddenly it's like banana Dark Order banana peel. You know what I'm saying?
Banana 316.
Yeah, don't get the slip on them. But they released a shirt of Britt Baker.
Yeah.
The photo, the selfie that she took with a black eye. And so my beef is, and my main thing is, AEW is going to need a second very popular female star. Another very popular. They need to
Preferably of
develop.
color.
Yeah, they need to develop someone else just entirely. Jamie Hayter, she's cool, but she's only known in the wrestling circles. We're wrestling, but they need someone else on the level of Britt Baker or someone who can. Because I've never seen someone defend a terrible shirt, a terrible idea for a shirt that she do by also bringing up how terrible their other shirts are in that AEW shop thing. And I'm like, are you using your brain? Like what are we
No.
doing here? Because why would anyone purposely walk around with a photo of a woman with a black eye on their shirt proudly? Like why are you selling this? Why are you promoting this? What PR team do you have that said that this was okay? Because in 2023 there is no PR team that said like, nah, this would be valid. There's no context to the shirt. It's literally just a photo of a black-eyed Britt Baker, and you're defending the shirt as
Yeah, here's my the word of optics comes into play here, and I think it's the most truth and the best use of that word in the sense of this shirt of just the optics look terrible. We know what that's from, right? But
right.
nobody outside of wrestling knows what that shirt
which
means.
which is
Nobody knows.
let me tell you something. A large amount of people on this earth don't watch AEW. just
Oh
just
yeah.
a heads up.
Oh yeah. Not at all. Nobody gives a fuck about AEW. There's a lot of people on this earth, and only 800K of them give a fuck about AEW week to week. Okay, that just gives you just an example of just how stupid this idea was to make this shirt. Here's my thing: I would be okay with the shirt if only the Outcasts were wearing it. If only they were wearing it, and they were not
Right.
selling it. They
Right.
are selling the
Absolutely.
shirt. It has
Makes
to be
perfect sense to
printed,
do that.
folded, shipped to you. What if you're the person buying that? What do you think? Are you thinking this is badass? What are you thinking? Right?
It's the most, and people defending the shirt. My thing is also people defending the shirt by also saying like the other news items in the news this week is like, well, racism at W. I'm like, bro, slide to the left a little bit. We're talking about this shirt right now. We'll get to the racism in the WWE for sure. Um,
Or Vince's court cases and shit like that.
right,
Stuff that
right. But I'm like, slide to the left.
shit that don't get
What
shit
part?
to do with shit.
Right. I'm like, what part of that argument makes this a plausible shirt? Like, what part of that argument makes it valid enough to um, wear the shirt, print the shirt, anything? Like,
Nothing. And Britt defending it, trying to make it like a feminist issue. That's not it. That's not it either. I'm not saying that the shirt is glorifying domestic violence. I could see that people would think it is a domestic violence shirt,
people
but
can interpret it any way they want. There's no context to the actual fucking shirt.
yeah, no context. There's not on the back of the shirt like an explanation, like a mansplain of okay, so okay, so boom type thing on the back of the shirt. There's
Right.
none of that. Like
We'll say, okay, so boom would be terrible, by the way.
it
Okay, so
is
boom.
it
I'm
is
like, damn,
just
Adam Cole.
it's the bad.
Couldn't be.
Also, it's just a bad shirt, and I think anyone defending it is just crazy to do so. And I just have to say that like this ain't even it's a bad shirt. It ain't the worst shirt on there. That Hardy shirt that Cyrus put in our chat, I was like, what is
Wait, no, I
this?
need to see the. What is the Hardy shirt? Hold on.
Bro, hold on.
Hardy
Go to this.
shirt.
Go to this shirt. What is it? AEW shop or
No,
shop
it's not
AEW?
because I tried it. Shop AEW. There you go.
Can't even
Um,
get it right. You gotta put shop first. It's SEO, pal. Oh, pal. You know.
okay, let's see.
Hardee's.
What is?
Hardee's.
Why is
It's that.
everything
It's,
loading?
yeah. It's this one right here. This is it's got a really bad server. I'm gonna text it to you. It's this one. I had no clue what the fuck this was. Look at it. Like I saw the H's and I was like triple H. I was like Triple H. And then Cyrus was like, no, the
Yeah.
Hardys.
What?
Come on.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's not. To be honest, I don't think that's a worse shirt than the fucking black eye shirt.
Well, I mean,
I
well,
feel
hold
like.
on. Hold on. What about this one? What about the Evil Uno first edition AEW arcade shirt? They literally print anything on some cloth, just destroying, the environment.
Ew.
It's pretty
Okay.
bad.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty
pretty.
bad.
I
The
don't
the
know.
Britt Baker shirt is the top selling item of the week, which lets you know that this is scaring the hoes wrestling. This is literally what
Yeah.
it is.
It's literally that is
Scaring the
exactly what
hoes,
it is.
wrestling federation. Scaring the hoes. This is literally what this is. It's called battle damage. Like, these are larpers as pro wrestlers here.
I don't know. People are stupid. I can't. I can't. And they're standing firm in the shirt, and they think that the shirt is a, you know, should we should be able to have this shirt and all time. I'm like, bro, Britt Baker, you got rocks for
Can,
brains.
can we talk about Roderick Strong's logo?
Oh,
Looking like the
the shit
Sean
that looked
Ross.
like Sean Rice. I was like, damn, he's coming. You made it. Um, that's so funny. Yeah, why would they have that as? I don't know. I guess they thought it was a good idea. I don't know. I'm sure there's someone in there. Again, this OD looks like a Sean Ross Sapp shirt. Might steal the logo.
Terrible logo.
Um,
He should steal the logo, but it's a terrible logo. Yeah, that's AEW. We got some other news. A big debut
yeah,
over the
man.
weekend. Trinity Fatu
Hey, Trinity
debuted.
Watch is over.
What there was one?
Yeah, Trinity Watch last week. Trinity Watch is over. We were watching Trinity because apparently she cost too much for New Japan to go to. And she was
But
also
not too
seeing if
much
she,
for Impact because they will pay anything for you.
well, Impact. Nonetheless, she's returned to wrestling. Trinity Fatu has returned to wrestling. She's returned to Impact Wrestling. She was at the Impact Wrestling tapings last week. I'm sure it'll debut this week on whatever channel it comes on.
Twitch.
Twitch, the C-SPAN, True TV, one of them damn channels. Um, how do we feel? How do we feel this move? All right, let's look at where she was last.
Here you go. Here you go. You're already trying to cap me down.
I'm trying to figure out, how did we end up here? How does one end up in Impact?
Let's just be clear. The market is, I won't say saturated, but the ceiling is low for big money deals right now unless you're in two companies. And if one company didn't want you and you won't come back to the other company for whatever reason that we still don't know about, then there's your options are very slim. And then your best friend just so happens to basically take up a whole market in one country
Hey,
for
hey
one
man,
company.
I was told I'm being an asshole for saying something like that.
Here's my thing, and I said it again. They already have their budget for Tanahashi and Okada, who are already signed to those companies. Let's just be clear. That is already going to happen. That's like, you're not going to not pay LeBron James. Get the fuck out of here. You're going to pay Okada and Tanahashi however much they fucking want. But that deal is already done. They got like damn near lifetime deals with these motherfuckers, right?
Right.
So that's what happens. And then the circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. The pool gets smaller and smaller and smaller until you're in Impact in a dimly lit arena staging. Here's my thing. How can you not look at I listen, I know a lot of people are happy. It's great that she landed somewhere that wasn't that wasn't in
No,
fucking
nowhere. Essentially, she has
nowhere.
a job again. Yeah, she has a job again.
Yeah,
She's
she has
no
a
longer
job.
unemployed.
She has a job, and that's great. But there's no way you can look at this and be like, this is like where you thought she was gonna be or end up. I'm not gonna say it's an L, but I'm not gonna say that it's like something I'm exactly excited to see her at. You know what I mean? It's
I
just like,
think I think the thing is, without the context of actually what happened and the decision to make this decision to leave WWE, everyone's just kind of speculating to the point. Whereas without the context, I personally don't know if this how this move kind of like things in her brain. I think overall the things that she's hinted at was like she wanted to go somewhere where she felt appreciated, but I don't know her the things that have happened that had made her feel disenfranchised or unappreciated in WWE, and I don't know the straw that broke the camel's back. There's a lot of similar to our, the side of us thinking is like, really, like did this happen and people are celebrating for her. I think we still don't have context in terms of what happened with Mercedes. We got all the she's been wanting to wrestle in Japan for years, you know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like,
mm,
we got whole documentaries of her damn near asking for her release 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And we got all that kind of context. But with Trinity, we don't really have the context. She isn't really saying anything. And I'm interested to see if that story will ever get lifted. Because to be honest with you, I think there's no real strong way to defend walking out unless it's an actual legit problem. And in that problem, I couldn't see how WWE wouldn't resolve it if it reached to any point that was an extreme level to like, we have to leave. I don't feel comfortable here anymore.
yeah,
Like,
whatever the disrespect was, and again, everyone's just guessing, right?
yeah,
Everybody is guessing. We
they
don't know.
know, but we don't know. But I think it's part of the interesting part of their narrative and how people continue to let fans
Yeah,
be their fans and live in the dark and stuff like that. They let the narrative kind of build itself through internet fandom, and that's kind of how they are able to continue. But I would actually like to know the story. I would love to know the story. I think there's a story out there. I'm interested that no one seems to be on the WWE side. I don't think anyone outside of Mercedes and Trinity is going to talk about it because realistically, they like them, and it's also not their business. Um,
I think I wouldn't be shocked, and I mean, there's been proof either way, whether you want to believe it or not, and however you want to believe it. But I don't think that their departure and the way that they did it left them very liked by a lot of people.
right.
Is that hard to believe?
I don't think it's hard to believe at all. I think
I mean, you left
because it
people
didn't
high
seem like
and
a
dry.
departure. You just kind of like dipped. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've heard things. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I don't know if a lot of people like the way that they did that. And I think that again, that's it's all obviously between the people, the workers and the company. But I can feel I see both sides of that situation. But in terms of just where she is now and where Naomi is now, or I'm sorry, Trinity is now, like it's definitely a situation where I feel like Mercedes is coming out looking great, and I feel like Trinity's going to be an impact, and that's going to be like a huge like situation for her. And then hopefully in a month they're still talking about it, because I feel like after they left, nobody really talked about her. You know what I mean? Like no one really said anything, and it looks like with all the moves that are happening, that's going to continue to be the case.
I think I don't think we're owed necessarily like owed a story, but I think it would add context and help like to if there was a story there that could drive a narrative in terms of like this is a major deal for her and stuff like that, and like her own personal growth and stuff like that. I think that would be awesome. But still, to this day, we still have not heard anything. We still haven't heard anything about SummerSlam 2021.
Oh, we know about that.
But it's you know, we're happy that she's working. Um, but also still got questions, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, still would rather her in WWE. The impact thing is cool, but it's
You ain't want
clear like yeah, like what was your I've never I've never had seen like if Trinity had aspirations to wrestle outside of WWE, but apparently there is today. I mean, you got to pay the bill somehow.
Hey man, when a
Um,
rabbit got the guy, you
hey
gotta
man,
go. Was that the biggest stuff that happened? I think that was it.
we got the lawsuit thingy.
Oh, that happened after the yeah, that did happen. Shit, I not gonna
It
lie.
happened literally right after we posted the show. Like,
Yeah, not gonna lie. I had my thoughts on it. Obviously the lawsuit that's being brought against Vince, Stephanie, and WWE. A former writer there claims that she had been the subject. She'd been subject to racist storylines, angles, and stuff like that. Had named in her case several WWE stars that were victim of this, including Bianca Belair, Apollo Cruz, Mustafa Ali. And just basically said that there were just a bunch of things pitched to her from one specific writer in particular that she didn't get along with, and who was always, she was on his shit list basically, and that she basically got let go for taking one of the chairs. A lot of stuff being put in here. From what I understand, Vince and Stephanie are in this because they were in charge at the time when she was there,
mhm.
and but a lot of the onus falls on that writing team and the people who run that writing team for what was going on. Now, what did confuse me about this case was that a lot of the things that were pitched to her, or that she said that either the stars didn't like, or whatever, it still ended up happening. And that's what was confusing to me. Like the Apollo Nigerian thing did end up happening. And if I remember correctly, Meelz, he actually was saying that that was something he wanted to do.
I think it's something. Yeah, yeah. While I do believe that they had creative input in it, and I still think they do. I honestly, I think Bianca even told us during her interview, like, or
She
we've heard
shuts this
during,
guy out.
yeah, yeah. She does not. She's not going to say anything she doesn't feel comfortable with. Period.
Yeah.
That's just the end of the thing. And realistically, I think even in WWE, to the standpoint, like realistically, you wouldn't do something you're fully not. I mean, don't get me wrong, you probably would if you felt pressured to for your job. But I can't see this angle with Apollo Crews kind of like continuing to go off with like all this kind of pressure on him. Um, but I don't doubt. The thing is like I feel like we both been featured. This is not like exclusive to any workplace where you have people who are completely ignorant and just don't understand pretty much how the shit goes in 2023. And I think
Mhm.
I think more so the result from this case, or at least this attempt for this case, should WWE kind of like doubling down on, you know, the diversity, equity, and inclusion of everyone that's kind of hired, and understand, and tolerance as well. I think that's a major thing as well, because it's clear like it's coming off as they probably think they're being funny, the 9/11 jokes, the other stuff like that, but that shit is not funny.
Yeah.
Um,
And in a creative situation that is out of the bound. Like if that came to me and like, you know, during the ideation process, obviously we both have done marketing stuff. We both work within marketing, PR, branded stuff. That gets shot down in that meeting. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
somebody gets talked to about it. You know what I mean?
if
And
I
that
see
and then
that in the Slack, your Slack is
yeah,
getting shut off within 24 hours
yeah, of
easily.
course. Of course. And again, this is something that, you know, within the creative process, people are gonna say some pretty stupid fucking shit, and then but in most companies they get punished for it. In
Well,
WWE, it seems like he didn't get punished for it at all. Into which
it's
case
the
I say like,
it's the Carney
what?
fucking show. It's the Carney
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. And I think that this guy absolutely needs to go for sure. I feel like WWE needs to get some people of color in there for sure. They need to really revamp everything and get some fucking real HR. That's my real thing. Is that like I hope that Endeavor gives them a real. Well, shit, they run UFC too. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. But I think there needs to be some real changes that go on back there. Now, as far as this case, I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest. I think they're gonna settle. I think this is gonna get wiped under the rug. They're probably gonna settle. They'll probably make a statement about it. I mean, if we're lucky, that guy might be fired. But you know,
Hey man, they could have let her get the chair. Because
it
I feel like the
yeah.
premise of this entire situation is so dumb, because it's like they let her go because she took the chair from WrestleMania. Had to be like 37 at this point, or 38. Um, and
It was
I'm
for a
oh,
reason.
what happened?
It was looking for a reason. That's what it
Yeah,
looked like. It was looking
because
for a
I'm
reason.
almost sure, as someone, I don't touch shit unless I see someone else do it. I don't know if I see other people taking the chair, like, yo, just grab a chair, and, you know, then make sure you grab a chair on your way out, you know, something like that. Like, don't tell nobody, but, you know, just steal one, take it back to your hotel room type thing. Like, I can honestly see that happening. I have no idea. Like, it looked like it was a reason that seemed like the pettiest reason to let go of someone for taking the chair. After I'm almost sure you dig into other people's homes, you run a search, and you might see 4 or 5 chairs from people. They might have
Absolutely.
they might have taken a damn Montreal Sami Zayn chair and just like, yo, I'm taking this, like, history type thing. I think it was so
Yeah.
dumb. They were clearly looking for a reason to do this, because she was probably not as easy to work with, because she protested all these kind of things and
Mhm.
had, you know, different thoughts about all these kind of things. So you know what?
And
Overall, go ahead.
working in WWE creative is like a Shark Tank from what we know anyway. You read Brian Gewert's book. I read Brian Gewert's book. It's a Shark Tank. You know what I mean? Like there's people that's trying to like they trying to get on and they trying to like get these wrestlers and shit that like them. But when you cross like the when you cross the decency threshold, that's when I think it's too far. Like this isn't the year or the years or the generation to be doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I hope she gets her coin. It seemed like she was ready. Like she was ready. She was like, you know what, fuck these niggas, and she's gonna because the thing is, the money they're gonna have to pay. it's gonna come out of his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna have to pay for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he does get let go. But I don't see this going to like trial for sure.
Yeah, I don't. And then also like just it looks bad for like the Mansoors and the Leahs of the world of like this thing was kind of like happening and circling backstage and stuff like that. Like it, I can imagine it would give you less hope about your positioning in the company if the people that are making these decisions feel this kind of way about you.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, part of I mean Bianca is still you can't touch Bianca. Like at the end of the day,
and
you
she.
can't. Go
But
ahead.
that was her homie, which bugs me out. Was that she like shouted him out? So like I don't know.
Amen.
I don't
Uh
know.
uh uh.
I don't know.
Um.
I'm
What?
gonna take my earrings off and whoop your ass. Okay,
Yeah.
are we
Like
going
that's
into
how
the
you would say it, right?
yeah?
Yes, we can go into the draft thing.
Let's go into the draft. Draft started last week on SmackDown. I would say like between the two shows, since like just to touch on the two shows, I would feel like the SmackDown was far more of like a nothing show besides one match than Raw
We don't
was.
have to talk about the actual show. I mean, yeah, because SmackDown was just the main event, which
Yeah,
was an ends to a means of the long term thing, which will never be followed up until Roman actually shows back up again.
was Heyman kind of hinting that Roman was coming back in a week or no?
I don't know,
Because
but
he said in 1 week, and I was like, but he never got to finish the sentence. So I was like, was he hinting that Roman was coming back, or is he? He's been gone for all like 30 days.
hey
Like,
man, I mean, he ain't coming back on Monday. That's clear. That's clear for
he's
sure.
got to come back. He's going to be in Saudi, so I would imagine that either next week he would come back, or the week before, or the week after that. And just the strange comments about like if Roman can't compete for that title, why is Heyman bringing it up? Like it doesn't make any sense.
They didn't think this entire title thing through. Like a lot of it is like, all right, like I said with Quan last week, you agreed with Roman on these terms of how long he can stay out, but then you bash him
That
to
was the
say,
okay. Hold on. That wasn't real thing. That was Triple H trying to get more heel heat on Roman. I understood that part. I thought that part was smart because it was him attempting to, in something
to
that I feel as
right,
though
right.
Seth did better later in the night, differentiate that title and not make it seem like it
But
was you tried.
but I also feel like you're playing down. You're putting unnecessary like. I mean, don't get me wrong. Any heat is good heat for Roman Reigns, but realistically, this man has been carrying the company. So whether or not, and the decisions that you guys have made have been in the best interest of this man carrying your company. So for them to come out of nowhere and pretty much say like, we need a champion who's gonna fight every week and all this other stuff like that, like to me it's just like okay. And I don't see the championships as being side to side, but at some point we're gonna have to knock the unified off that other off of Roman's championship thing, right?
Like it's
Like
gotta stay
undisputed.
unified. It's gotta stay. It's well, I would say knock the unified. I would say knock
I would knock
undisputed, but
the
keep
I would
unified.
knock the undisputed
Yeah, keep the unified because now it's like disputed. But
easily
I I
disputed.
I, I get that. I get that what he was trying to do, but I feel like they need to, and I guess we'll get this after Saturday. They need to figure out who is going to be who's going to be trying to go for this title, and what is it? How are they going to do it? Is it going to be a one night tournament? Is it going to be like what is it? So,
Well, they
we'll
said
see.
on SmackDown it'll be people from Raw and SmackDown contending for the title, but made it even more confusing.
But then he corrected it on Monday at the top of Monday and said this is exclusive to Raw, so it's got to be, and they have a roster now. So there are people on this roster I could see realistically going for it, and
I
on that.
yeah, they've the messaging has been kind of off, and realistically, they could have. I don't want to say they could have split up Roman's titles, but realistically, I think long term, it's interesting Triple H's era of kind of doing things, and I feel like the easiest way would have been have Roman He's unable to defend. We're splitting up the championships again. He is unable to defend it on this show. So thus, this championship is now held in abeyance or something along those lines. But they can't do that because
They
they want to get
want
to a
him,
fucking 1,000 days.
and they want him to have the WWE title because they need that lineage. So yeah, yeah. Let's get to the
Neat
draft.
little mess. Yeah, let's get to the
Yeah,
draft.
it's their job to figure this out, and hopefully by
I
Monday
want
they
to.
figure this out and keep
I
it
want to give
and
a.
somehow keep Cody away from it. But
I want to give a prelude to everyone who has problems with this draft. It's
there were
fake.
problems with it.
No, it's
People, I haven't
people.
seen any other conversation.
People were like, "How could they draft this person, knowing that if Carmelo and Braun are there, why wouldn't they draft them over other people? How could these amount of people get drafted? This person on this show?" I'm like, bro, it's not real. Like, who cares? This is the
It
end.
ain't real.
Yeah, it's not like this isn't an actual draft. Like this is not even by the terms of how draft should actually go. It is draft by name, but realistically, we also watched draft lotteries where on the screen they went
Totally
and
real,
they
y'all.
and totally pick someone out of the blue. Like this isn't real. So my thing is like I wasn't heavily looking forward to the draft per se. I wanted to see how the rosters shake out, but it's not like the event of the draft was something I was looking forward to. That's why Quan and I didn't do any mock draft because we were like, why the fuck are we doing a mock draft? Because
Yeah, there's
realistically,
and ultimately within it, there was shakeups that we knew were gonna happen. But I think before we get to like the names, I'm pleased with it because for the first time in a long while, I don't feel as though one show is more lopsided than the other. You know why? Because they have actual stars and they have two stars, big stars on both shows now. So we're not being like, fuck, we gotta watch Raw where they trying to figure out how to make Riddle a guy or like Randy Orton in his
right,
25th year.
Raw is still in a sense the flagship show of WWE. But SmackDown is also the money making show of the WWE. Like
Yeah.
SmackDown is the highest rated show out of both shows and has been consistently for like at least a year. So you can't we can't do this like 2007 where it's clearly like the highest draft pick to SmackDown is like John Morrison or Chris
Right.
Jericho. You know what
But
I'm
it made
saying?
sense. Like, and also you have men and women this year. And let's just get to it. So round one was on Friday. SmackDown took the Bloodline. Raw took actually is there
Roman and Solo
Roman
specifically.
Solo and Heyman. Is there like a list? Hold on.
Hold on. Like, okay, I have the Wikipedia page if that's interesting.
Hold on. Let me
The rounds don't
fuck.
matter. The rounds don't matter to
Yeah,
me.
that's what I'm saying.
Like
That's what I'm
they're
trying to find a full list. That's what I'm trying to. Okay, I got the full list. I got the full list. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh, there we go. Thanks for sending that to me. Yeah. Why is everyone doing it by the rounds? Come on, man. Like, what the
The
fuck?
rounds don't matter. The rounds are
They're
it doesn't really
superfluous.
matter.
Like, they
Yeah.
could have just done the list, and I would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
This is confusing too.
No, all right, so boom. Let me get first draft pick. Um thing goes to let's talk about the roster changes. How about this?
Okay,
So
all right.
on the first round of this,
We're still doing rounds. Hold on.
okay, all right, never mind. Okay, so the Bloodline stays on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes stays on Raw. How that story is going to end up there, we'll figure it out. Is Cody going to win the Rumble again? We'll figure it out. Is some sort of chicanery with the roster is going to happen again? More than
Me and the bank
likely.
is in. Me and the bank is in July.
Ooh, okay. Bianca Belair is on SmackDown. Big
Good pick.
move. Raw Women's Champion. Clearly, they're going to swap the belts at some point.
Monday.
I mean, they should do it on Friday. No, they'll do it on Monday.
I would rather it not be a segment though. I'd rather they just mail it.
Yeah.
Do we need another?
No, we absolutely need a segment. This is WWE. What are we talking about?
Becky Lynch stays on Raw. Makes sense for many reasons that we'll get to on as we go through here. Street Profits move to SmackDown, of course, because Bianca's there. Imperium moving to Raw. I give a big thumbs up to that. I give a
I
big thumbs up to that.
I thought it was gonna happen too because clearly Raw needs some workers, and you got three of the best workers right there. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
And
So big thumbs
since
up.
since June, Gunther has been a force of nature, and that will continue on. Edge moves back to SmackDown. I was like, damn, they moving Hall of Famers too. I was like, God
Yeah.
damn.
Listen, Edge had that. I think that Seth feud was mainly on SmackDown, so I'm saying
Yeah,
his
it
better
was.
years SmackDown.
Riddle stays on Raw, which makes sense to me. I think I keep him away from Roman. I don't feel like Roman wants him over there. Bobby Lashley moving to SmackDown. Thank God. Get him off my Monday show. He'll have,
Hey
he
man,
probably
he
won't be
might.
on SmackDown every week,
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, there might be weeks that nigga's not on SmackDown.
which is fire. That's cool. Drew McIntyre over to Raw. That's good. Get him away from Sheamus. They've been together for a full calendar year. Like that
Also,
is
he gets a new world title to go for as well.
yes, he does. The OC is back. AJ Styles returned. I thought a
The
little
the
subdued for them to bring him back that way.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially like this is the house that AJ Styles built. You know what I'm saying? Like this is his return to SmackDown should be a big deal because again, his best years were on SmackDown for sure.
Yeah. But he's back there with the OC, and Mia Yim also moves over as well. I think a good move for Mia Yim more than anything. She
I
was
don't know
she
about
was
that.
getting swallowed up by like the Beckys and the Biancas of the
Listen,
world.
if you can't find room on a 3-hour show, they're definitely not gonna find room on the 2-hour show. So
She'll be able to mix it up with the LWO probably and stuff like that. So she'll definitely have room there for sure. Um, Miz stays on Raw, which obviously makes sense. That's his network.
yeah,
Damage Control, the whole team moving over to SmackDown. So on SmackDown, you got they're moving that over, and you got a potential that Io Sky could be a babyface on that brand pretty soon. Also,
I love it. I think there's a lot of
that'd
potential
be
with the
dope.
SmackDown women's roster right now.
Shinsuke Nakamura moves to Raw. I think I said this that I wanted this, and I've wanted this for a while. I was hoping AJ would stay on Raw to kind of continue their feud over there, but um, I
The
like
way
it.
he looked like money on Raw, like
Yes,
he looked like a big deal. I don't think I
he looked
did.
real good. New presentation, new gear, all of that. I think he looked really, really dope. I think Miz is a good first step for him. Miz in the Ziggler spot here of just kind of ushering in new people into the show. He's got
Mm-hmm.
Gargano he could face, Finn Balor he could face, Damian Priest he could face, Cody he could face, Gunther he could face again. A lot of guys on this show that he's never really mixed it up with before. Also, so really,
Right,
really cool
right.
there. You have the NXT picks and what I mean. I guess we'll get toward the end, but I thank God. Thank God. Thank you.
Yeah, good for
Moving some
good
of
for
these women
Alba
out of there.
Fire.
Alba Fire and Eladon, who kind of gets there by osmosis, so good for her. They move over to SmackDown as the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. We'll get to I guess something big with them coming up in the second round here. But Indy Hartwell moves to Raw with Gargano and Candice LeRae and Dexter Lumis, which you kind of see what they're gonna go for here. I hope it works. I felt like that was a really small room stable in NXT, and we'll see how that works with the family and all that stuff on Raw.
Can you do it? Is there a need for a heel? Well, I don't know. You got Judgment Day. Maybe you do face. Maybe they
Yeah,
run
they're
face this time.
baby faces for sure.
So
Um,
Indy, we could see Indy versus Rhea pretty soon, and then
mhm.
Judgment Day versus. Okay, all right, I could see
It's
it.
gonna get good. Here's my thing with Indy. I wasn't too happy about how they did the title situation. She's injured now, which realistically, honestly, I would just have her relinquish the belt on NXT, to be honest with you, because it doesn't look like she'll be able to defend it in order to get it off of her.
Yeah,
But the one thing people are missing about this move, and the reason why I've said to move her up so much longer ago, was that she can get good by being on these shows, just by osmosis and being next to these people that are already good. So I
I
hope this
agree.
works out.
I'm
They
I'm
have
I'm hoping more so for the development of whatever character that she's got going on because she really needs it sorely badly.
100%. Yeah. And the supplemental picks after that, Apollo Crews goes back to Raw. Candice LeRae stays on Raw. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. They were on different shows, I believe, and
Yes,
I
they
believe
were.
they were on different shows as a tag team. They moved over to Raw proper. Dexter Lumis, of course, stays as I mentioned before. Hit Row stays on SmackDown because we need jobbers. JD McDonough moves from NXT to Raw. This is a sleeper pick for me. This is a good pick.
If this was a year ago, he'd be running behind R-Truth and, and and Reggie. He'd be right there with him. I'm not sure what this means now, but it's
Judgment
a
Day.
good
You got
pick.
to do it. You got to
It's a
do it.
good pick. Oh, you
Put him on
include him in
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
You got to do it.
Oh,
Lacey
okay.
Evans. Lacey Evans stays on SmackDown. Maximum Male Model stays on Raw. Natalia moves to Raw, which is good for their depth. You need a jobber. And she's gonna get her one run every single year. She gets that one run of the title every year. So you need
Listen,
that there.
Natalia Rhea might be next month, baby.
For sure, or SummerSlam. Viking Raiders moves from SmackDown to Raw. It's sorely needed. They needed some new dance partners very badly. Zoe Stark and another to me with JD McDonough, another sleeper pick to me. I think this is gonna meet like this. This might have been in the supplemental, but this has bigger implications to me. Zoe Stark moves from NXT to Raw. That's automatic. You got a worker. Automatically, you have somebody that can work on that show.
I give it 2 months before she's teaming with Natalia.
You think she goes up there as a babyface?
Nah.
Okay.
But I don't think there's anything. Yeah, she's one of those people you need to put her in a tag team and then have her turn on the tag team partner. So to kind of like put something, I don't think she's someone that immediately stands out. So you got to put her in a situation for her to stand out.
Yeah, for sure. Round 2 was on Raw. First pick was Rhea. Here's my thing. Niggas need to stop talking about this first round draft pick. These are just them. This is a cool way for them to tell you who's on whose show now.
Yeah, this is not an actual draft. Like none of this matters.
SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley stays on Raw. Austin Theory moves to SmackDown, which and obviously he was going to move there because they can't have both kind of mid card titles there. But good move for him. He's moving with Lashley, so I could see about 3 more Lashley matches before they find something for them to do. But that's a good move for him. I think he's needed to move away from Raw for a while now, and especially move away from Seth Rollins.
I agree.
Who is staying on Raw as we all expected. Now, Meelz, Charlotte Flair staying on SmackDown. What do you think?
I'm surprised they even put her in this draft. Because clearly I feel like she could go to anything that she could do anything that she wants to do. But I know when she returns, you better watch out, Bianca.
TikTok. The real TikTok.
It is TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like it is a wrap. So her being on SmackDown, good thing for SmackDown, to be honest with you. And then I also think if they want to continue with her as a face, you got Bayley. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could run it back. That might be it. To be honest with you, I forget who else is on SmackDown. But go off.
All of them. You get
Asuka's
Charlotte
there too. Listen, Charlotte and Asuka on the same brand.
Well, you're revealing them before I say them, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, you watch your show.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are this was another Chelsea Green Sonya situation where they were a tag team on 2 different shows. Now they're converged onto one show with the tag titles on Raw. Thank you. Give me my Viking Raiders match, please. The Usos go over to SmackDown. I'll say this right now. The tag team division on SmackDown is basically no more. Can we say that? Like it's like maybe 3 teams now. 3 or 4 teams.
I'm going to say next week on Raw, Adam Pearce is just going to be like, just give me the belts. Just hand them over.
That'd be cool. That'd be fine. They finished it.
But also they should have done that to Roman. So
no, you can't. Well, you can't because they weren't unified. They're just undisputed.
Okay, sure.
They're not unified. The belts were not unified.
Okay, all right, sure.
Come on, I've said that's not sure. It's literally in the thing. It's undisputed. It's come on.
Unified. They're unified. Yes. These belts
Okay,
are not unified yet. Yes, maybe.
The Usos just won both, but Roman unified those titles in the main event. Let's just
Okay.
be clear. All right. So Judgment Day stays on Raw, which is obviously you got to keep them together. They're like the biggest stable that isn't the bloodline in the show. The LWO, I mean, they could have. I was at NXT, but I get apparently they're going to SmackDown.
Hey man, that Latino audience on SmackDown is running strong for like the last like 20 years, baby. Also, like, win, please,
Yeah,
something.
please. I need. I mean, they don't have a match on Backlash, but I mean, I
I
guess.
don't think
I mean, I guess
I don't
you
think
gotta have
Judgment Day needs to be this strong. She'll face
going
Bad
into.
Bunny.
Well, it's always Damian Priest. It's been Damian pinning them, so it's really just making Damian look strong. Because well, I'll talk about it when we talk about Backlash. But Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez moved to Raw, which is fire to me. Again, this Raw women's division is stacked. I hope they do right by all of them. But Asuka moves to SmackDown, so you got a core of Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. That's fun. That is fun to me. That's really fun. New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Kofi, of course, is injured. They move over to Raw. Brawling Brute stay on SmackDown. Good idea. Trish Stratus. I say, wait, what? She's on Raw. I guess, bro. She ain't even been on the show in 2 weeks.
Hey man, nah, man, she on the Raw roster. She been here every week. She been here more weeks than Becky. Where
Oh
Becky
wow.
been? Hey, man.
Next pick. I mean, you got to play this. Gang.
I can't believe you. Your boy don't work for
Gang.
a million years, but it works when that shit comes on.
4K. 4K. 4K gang. Come on, let me
I'm
hit
not.
niggas with this one more time. Let
Listen,
me hit
I'm not.
niggas with this one more time.
He should have went to Raw. He should have went to
Nah,
Raw.
man. He on a money
He should
show.
have
He
went to
a
Raw.
money man. Money man. Money
Listen,
man.
he had a whole feud with Shinsuke that is no longer a thing. He should have went to Raw.
He gonna make Shinsuke look good. And you know what I'm saying?
Friday, right?
You
Is
feel
it
me?
Friday?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Friday in Puerto Rico. That's his home country, my brother.
I guess.
I'm seeing I'm seeing niggas in 4K now.
Okay. All right. I hear
I'm
you.
seeing you in 4K. Carrying cross, Coven, complete. You feel me? One more K with it. Anyway, this
I
is my biggest
refuse.
shock. This is my biggest shock of the night. All right. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler moving to Raw. Did not expect that. Ronda Rousey moving into a show with Becky Lynch.
Hey man, apparently they pieced it up.
Got to be. Got to.
Apparently. I saw it in the documentary. You know what I'm saying?
LA Knight stays on SmackDown. Good, you shouldn't move him yet. Braun Strowman and Ricochet move over to Raw. Ricochet hasn't been on Raw in 2 years?
I don't like this
So
move. I don't like this
why?
move at all. It's too easy to throw that nigga on main event.
I feel like
some
there's
of
a bunch
these
of people
moves.
there are a bunch of men and women that will go on main event before he does.
I feel like, don't get me wrong, we're in a different era. I feel like the Triple H era, obviously there's some semblance of respect for Braun Strowman and Ricochet because they give them
For Ricochet.
wins, but the win, well, for Ricochet for sure,
Yeah.
because they give them wins, but they're not like wins that mean anything.
That's a lot of
But they
wrestlers
be,
though. You're saying that because that's you like Ricochet. And I like Ricochet too. But that's a lot of wrestlers. You got to fill TV time. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose.
yeah, I feel you.
Like a lot of
We'll
people
see.
win, and a lot of people just win shit. Like Karrion Kross wins important shit, but
Karrion,
he wins a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like
Karrion Kross wins important shit. Hold up.
anyway, chill,
Results
chill,
not
chill, chill,
found.
chill, chill, chill. Shotzi stays on SmackDown, which is good. She's got a bunch of ring generals that she's with, and hopefully, what she's learned with Natalya really carries over here to working with Charlotte again, working with Bianca first time, stuff like that. Bronson Reed stays on Raw, of course. You need
Which
him on there.
means
I think that's
he taking that pinfall this weekend.
Cap. Oh shit, that's not Cap. You're right. Yeah, because the U.S. titles are not. But Bronson versus Gunther would be a heat rock.
Hey man.
And they faced off in PWG before. So that'd be
Okay.
heat rock. Pretty deadly. Clap it up for them, man. It didn't even
They
take a year.
listen. Nah, they were in the NXT UK slums for a minute.
No, but
A
I'm talking about
minute.
in American NXT. They was like, nigga, just bide your time.
Right.
Have
To
some
get
fun.
over as an NXT UK thing in front of the American audience, you've done well. Because I don't even think a lot of
Takes
the
a lot.
NXT UK Tyler Bate just be showing up and just
Yeah.
pattern shirts and shit. Ilya Dragunov be getting his brain busted every other week, so he shows up every once in a time. I mean, I was surprised Ilya Dragunov. I mean, the rumors was Corey Jade, Ilya Dragunov getting drafted to one of these shows, and neither of them have been drafted to any of these shows.
I'm cool with that. Ilya just came back. Like just came back. I think that he needs and he should want more time so he can start cutting more promos, learning more things, and they need ring generals on that show because look at it. Mello and Braun are not doing it. The only person that's doing it and actually popping ratings over there. The only thing popping over there is Roxanne Perez. The only person is popping ratings over there is her. So they need to work on that men's division. If you have a core of a Tyler Bate, Ilya Dragunov, you can have Mello there. I'm not saying Mello and Braun are not good, but they need something better, and that's why they're not called up right now because these are full packages here, and Pretty Deadly's a full package. They're tall as hell. They have a character. They're funny as hell. They don't mind doing silly shit. They remind me of, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, and I don't want you to kill me here, but I want you to walk with me here. They remind me of like the ENC, Edge and Christian a little bit.
I could see it. I could see it.
Like just in terms of just them having that brutal streak, but also being really funny. So like I like this, man. And moving over to SmackDown, you know what? I take back what I said about the division being dead. Pretty Deadly could really go up there with the Usos and the Brutes and everybody up there. That's gonna be really fun.
I agree.
Alpha Academy stays on Raw. Rick Boogs moves to SmackDown, but without Elias, right?
Who the fuck cares?
You're right.
I've
You're
never.
right.
I was like,
You're right.
what?
You're right. Katana Chance and Caden Carter go from NXT to Raw. What a really sweet reaction that they had. They've been on NXT for a very long time, and they're finally moving up. Hopefully, this isn't like an Aaliyah. Well, no, they can go. They actually can wrestle, but
Nah, get the fuck out of here.
no,
Like,
they can wrestle. They can. You capping? They could go. Not go, but they're serviceable. They're serviceable.
that annoying, bro. There's nothing likable about these two. Nothing likable. They did the
I'm talking
exact
about
same
work.
thing I told them to do. You know the thing with them is that they're never serviceable enough to go out there and like hype up a crowd or anything. So they always do the backstage thing where they have to interrupt somebody to get a match. And they literally do it at the draft. Where what's her face the Iliadon and Alba Fire are celebrating their own win and you're like, yeah, you're NXT. And they're like, NXT Women's Tag Team Champions? Huh. I bet you can't defend those on Tuesday. And then of course they're defending them on Tuesday. I
It's
found a
it's
chance in
seeming
Kaden Carter. Ability, yes, ability. Nothing else.
it's seeming to me that they're gonna do some type of unification here.
I feel like um they're not losing it to Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, and they'll probably lose it to another tag team on NXT.
Yeah,
Like a random one.
and then they unify it with Liv and Raquel, right?
Nah, I don't see any unification at all. I feel like, well, unless they don't want NXT to have women's tag team champions
I
and
don't
they
think
want
they.
them.
Well, here's the thing that I was thinking. When you look at NXT's roster, do you really need a tag team championship at that point? No, because you're taking away so many women, and there are so many women that to me are not ready to like work at that tag team level yet.
But I also feel like this is how you incorporate a lot of women in the ring at the time. Look at the tag team with Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at how that tag team kind of worked out. While they never really won the tag team championships, I think the development of their characters and kind of everything that happened after it. Now, Nikita Lyons blows out her knee and kind of the storyline goes in the air. But realistically, I think this is how you get multiple programs, multiple storylines. Even look at Fallon, Fallon, what's her face, and Kiana James, like Fallon Henley and Kiana James. Like I think that's how you get creative and being able to work these storylines and develop characters in different ways, and you're able to put in multiple women at the same time. I don't think necessarily a mid-card championship is going to work, because then again, you're just going to have one person face off against another person, or it's going to be the multi-person title or something along those lines. I do think they need these tag team championships on this show. And it's a good way. I think tag team wrestling is a good way to help develop talent, because you place them in reference with another talent, and you're able to kind of gauge how they are, and their characters are able to play off one another, which is what NXT really, really needs. That's my TED talk.
I just don't think that a tag title is what that brand needs right now, especially for the women. I mean, it's barely on life support. Toxic Attraction's broken up. Roxanne is probably going for that singles title with Tiffany. There are really no Kiana and what's her name broke up. There's really just no need for it. It seems as though the moves they made for those titles have been very calculated, and that's really the outcome to me. That seems like to me, because whoever wins this, they're going to end up on the main roster. You know what I'm saying? And they can't just go back to NXT the next week and be like, well, we won it last week and now we're going to give it up this week. They should really just combine them. But the last pick on Raw was Cameron Grimes, who's going to SmackDown. I said, if I don't hear this guy's name, I'm going up to Connecticut myself.
Hey
And
man, you might have pulled a Roddy. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Just like, where is he? But now we know where he is. I am interested in seeing how they introduce him. I really am. I think a character change is probably in discussion here for him. I don't think he's going to be the same that we saw in NXT on SmackDown.
I don't know.
For sure.
Baron Corbin ship has sailed, so it's it'll be interesting to see how this comes.
Was Baron drafted?
We'll get to it, right?
He wasn't. Wow.
You still
okay.
No, keep scrolling down. Keep scrolling down, baby.
Okay.
All answers will be revealed.
Supplemental pick. Akira Tozawa stays on Raw. Dana Brooke stays on Raw. Emma moves to Raw. Grayson Waller, sneaky pick. I think that it is damning that he went up first. It's been 2 years, Meelz. He is the only one of that core group that was in that War Games match that got called up. That is telling as to who is ready and who's not.
The boy can talk.
And he can work. Let's just be clear. The boy can talk and work. Indus goes from NXT to main event. Johnny Gargano stays on Raw when he returns. Los Lotharios goes to Raw. Nikki Cross stays on Raw. Odyssey Jones, surprising pick to me, stays on Raw. Piper Niven stays on Raw. Of course, Riddick Moss moved to Raw because Emma's moved to Raw. Tamina has moved to SmackDown. Tegan Nox moves to Raw, which is a good move to me. And Xia Li has moved to Raw as well. So they announced that there will be free agents that were included, but were neither declared. Where they were either declared free agents or free agents because they went undrafted. So they're announced on the post shows, and they can appear on both Raw and SmackDown. These include Baron Corbin, Brock Lesnar, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin, Dolph Ziggler, Elias, Mustafa Ali, Omos, Von Wagner, and Zion Quinn.
What do you think this free agent shit is about?
You probably need sometimes to have stories where a guy needs to get over, but he shouldn't be losing his status to somebody who is like higher than him or lower than him.
So outside of the two that normally stands out, these guys are just pretty much enhancement talents.
Some of them are. I can see some of them. Omos and Brock Lesnar are clearly
those are the two, yes.
Yeah, yes, those are attractions. Baron Corbin, I think it's good for him to move shows. I think he's somebody that can play either role really well. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, they should be really used to get people over who are either coming in or coming up, potentially coming up. And that is like the main event people, stuff like that. Like, I know this sounds disrespectful, but like, look at the names we called out and look at some of these people. Like, some of these people have been around for a really long time. Some of these people you don't really see them in that title picture. I mean, can you blame them? Like Von Wagner, come on, this got to be his last chance.
Hey man, you know what I see with all these wrestlers? They not age.
Oh.
None of these wrestlers are H, baby. They not
I like
H.
that. Except for Omos and Brock Lesnar. Well, Brock Lesnar ain't
Brock,
H, but
nah,
Omos.
they V. You know they VKM all the way. Those dudes are VKM. Vince says, nah, don't draft them. I could come up with some things for them.
Yeah.
They're not ain't no way Brock Lesnar is H. That's a
No.
fact.
Nah, he ain't H. You ain't H. You ain't H, baby. I all in all, Meelz, I am very pleased with this draft. Obviously some of the, like I felt like they cheated a little bit by having stables be able to be moved together, but
Right.
I think the shows desperately needed this. I think Cody has a lot of dance partners. I think Roman, whenever he wants to come back, it seems to me that the final battle here, and if there's one complaint I have about this new title, is that it's still not the title, okay? Because I can't see Cody realistically going for this title. And if he does, I could see him like not getting it or finally giving a rub to Seth and then moving on to Roman anyway. But it seems to me is that they're making this nucleus of a storyline between Roman, Cody, and Seth right now. And who's gonna but the thing is that Seth's probably gonna win that title, so he actually can't go against Roman. So that have to be like a Survivor Series thing or something like that. But to me, it still seems like the final outcome, the big storyline is Cody and Roman still to me, because you've kept Cody completely out of the mix of anything else going on with this draft.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest with you, I could see the finals leading up to it could be, I mean, people saying Finn versus Seth. I could see Cody versus Seth, and Seth finally gets that win over Cody.
I could see it, and I know people are going to complain about it, but it's like I mean, why wouldn't you have Seth be? That's like that is to me poetic. You know what I mean? That's poetic, and it also kind of feeds into the story of Cody really. And I know people are like they want their instant gratification now and
But then
stuff
you
like that.
also, I don't know, you also run the risk of people booing Cody.
Nah, I don't think so. This ain't AEW.
Seth is over like Rover though. Like
They'll both be over.
Rover.
They'll both be over. I think Cody is if it's 1A 1B on that show. And honestly, if we want to be real too, I would keep them away from each other for as long as possible, and I would just have Cody
Yeah,
move right into Gunther, or
yeah,
move him into somebody else. You know,
yeah. I wouldn't put Cody versus Seth together now. I think about it, but
I think the summer program is really going to be Bloodline versus each other. I think Solo and the Usos is definitely something that's going to implode at Backlash. So, but all in all, I would rate it like a B, maybe a B plus. I think there's a lot of questions I still have, but I think that the NXT inclusions to me put this over the top, almost to an A, because again, you're shaking it up, and we're going to see some new matchups, and that makes me really excited.
I would say B minus. It was cool. I'm not thrilled, but it did what it's supposed to do. It gave what it was supposed to give.
What what we've been watching the same roster for damn near 3 years.
No, I agree. I agree. I agree. It's just it's B
What,
minus, baby. What do you want from
it's
me?
not thrilling. What about you? I don't know. Anyway, let's
I'm
let's
not
go to
I'm not
Backlash.
overly like I'm here with it. Like
I'm not asking you
it's a
to. I'm not
solid
asking you.
grade.
Hey,
Hey
I'm not
man,
asking
but
you.
you was judging the hell out of me.
I'm
I don't
not.
like to be judged.
Okay. Let's go to Backlash, aka the fun. Basically, a fun show. It's gonna be a fun show. That's really that's really what this is. Because now that we've kind of established that nothing here matters, it's gonna just be other than one match. It's gonna be like a fun show. So, let's start from the top. Matt Riddle. Oh, I'm sorry. The Blunt Line versus the Bloodline in a
That's
six-man tag team match.
hilarious.
um, Solo's he's basically murked off all the niggas on the other team, and the Usos have pretty much lost
I
everyone.
This solo shit has got to stop. it it's got to stop. He couldn't. Seth can't beat him. Seth Rollins.
It's got to be. I've told you that it's got to be his brothers. It has to be his brothers. That's the only way that I'm thinking of this happening. It's got to be one of his brothers or both of his brothers doing it.
This solo shit got to stop. Every main event, every fucking week, It's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. With that said, this feud is over. The
Yeah,
honorary
after,
Usos bloodline arc is officially over.
yep,
Um,
it was
this
great.
is
It was great while it
this
lasted.
it was great while it lasted, but it's done. It's done, done, done. With that said,
Did you see a TikTok that a guy made where he was like, I think it's funny that everybody introduced this new title, and the one person they haven't mentioned about getting this heavyweight title is Sami Zayn, who after WrestleMania nobody ever mentioned him really again. And he was like, it kind of proves that none of y'all really wanted Sami to win the title. You just wanted him to beat Roman. And I was like, damn.
hey, run that out. Send that algorithm my way, baby.
Oh man.
I'm gonna give it to the bloodline because Solo Sikoa is a fucking maniac monster.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
I
know.
just
I would you gotta have the bloodline. If this main event, you gotta have the bloodline
I don't
lose
think
here
it's his
so
main
that
eventing.
I think it's either Bad Bunny and Priest or Cody and Brock. That
Yeah,
match is probably not gonna go that long, but we'll see. Speaking of Cody and Brock, let's get to it. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. I've been saying this since the top of the month in April. I would have Cody lose here and run it back in Saudi Arabia because we haven't even really heard Brock say why he did what he did, which is interesting that it's managed to kind of keep its heat without Brock explaining anything.
he's just Brock Lesnar, baby.
That's
I
Cowboy
think, yeah, I think DQ finish. I feel like DQ. Maybe
or
Cody wins
knockout
via DQ.
or knockout or something like that. Bro,
Mm,
I got Brock here. I got Brock here.
a kick to the dick or something. Something stupid.
um, Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega for the SmackDown Women's Championship or the Raw Women's Championship. Let's just be real. Uh, it'll be
You know it
fun.
is. I
It'll be
like
fun.
that Zelina. I like that Zelina Vega's getting this opportunity. I feel like once again, I mean, I think if you're in long enough, you're gonna get an opportunity at some point or another. She went through a lot. I remember even in the build to like I mean, she still loses a lot. Don't get me wrong. She still loses a fuck ton. And I think on Friday was her first win of the year. Um, but I think when you give someone an opportunity, you're always going to be able to give someone an opportunity, and she has a position to really shock the world in a kind of way. Not like shock the world, like actually win, but like show people that she's more than this. I think her last title shot she got against Asuka at that one pay per view that one time.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I think she's cool. I've known of her wrestling since she was Thea Trinidad, and I was like, wow, she's been grinding for a long time. So, um,
Yep.
yeah,
Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Rhea Ripley's gonna win this. Seth freaking Rollins versus Omos. Seth is on such a crazy roll. I can't remember the last time he lost. I think the last time he lost was like last November for the US title, right? So he has been booked extremely strongly. This is an exhibition match. You know what's funny? They didn't even have these two on screen together this week. Like they've immediately moved Seth over to kind of rubbing shoulders with the bloodline and being a main event guy. I think this would be cool, but I got Seth winning this and giving Omos about 4 stomps in order to finish him.
yeah, I could see that.
It is what it is. There's nothing much to be mad about with this match. It is an exhibition match for the Puerto Rican fans. That's fine. You know, just get it over with and move Seth over to the Saudi show, which is in fucking 4 weeks at this point. Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed, triple threat match for the United States Championship. They're gonna be working in this one. They working their ass off in this one. We already know the chemistry between Lashley and Reed. Very sad that they won't go be, they're not gonna be in the same show anymore. And I don't think they got a conclusive win against each other yet. But I could see
Yeah, that
Bobby
was
Lashley winning
crazy.
this. I could see Bobby Lashley winning this and going to SmackDown with that title.
Um, I'm gonna roll Austin Theory. I just feel like he's going to. I feel like there's more, I guess, opportunity against him. I could see Austin Theory versus Sheamus. That's what I'm thinking. Austin Theory versus Sheamus is coming up, and we continue that story there, because I don't really see what real world Austin Theory plays if he doesn't have the title.
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, he could face
Whereas
off against.
Bobby can do a bunch of things because he's Bobby, but Theory kind of like needs it at this point.
I don't, but then we get more months of Lashley in Theory. You're right.
I think Bobby on SmackDown. Who the hell's on SmackDown now? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. He might run up against some Bloodline. Run up, get done up. Maybe he gets a Solo Sikoa feud or something.
I could see Theory and Rey Mysterio, or Theory and Santos being something that happens
Yeah,
too.
I could see
There's
it.
a the world is Austin Theories on SmackDown. He's got a lot of vets he could work with and to get better. And I hope that he does. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky with Bayley and Dakota Kai. These two can go. They had a really great match on Raw a couple of months ago. I want to say 2 months ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't see Bianca losing this match, I definitely see Io Sky gaining some fan support on this match. And I think that we start to see kind of the deterioration of Damage Control, or at least one of them being splintered out of the group.
I think we see Bayley have the opportunity to maybe allow cheat for EOs for having her win or something along those lines, and she just doesn't. Like, just sneakily watches EO lose without really helping out.
Yeah, I don't get how you would even get to the breakup at this point, right?
EO, how I would book this, Meelz booking, is that Bayley gaslights Dakota Kai into thinking that Io Sky thinks she's bigger than Damage Control.
Okay. It's time.
And then
Can I be
try to
real?
pit Bayley and Dakota Kai against Io Sky.
Can I be real? It's time. It's time for Io to go. It's time for Io to be
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah, she can definitely do it.
It's time. Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. San Juan street fight. This could main event. It would be cool if it did. I think it's a cool moment for both. How violent is Bad Bunny gonna get here, and how fucked up is he gonna get?
I don't know. They made the mistake of on Raw saying that Damian Priest has not been pinned since last October. And I'm like, is he about to get pinned by Bad Bunny?
It would be poetic because these two are actual like friends, and he trained him. I think that would be a cool moment. Though I wouldn't be shocked if Bad Bunny didn't win, because I mean, if you're going all in with Damian Priest, what better than to have him beat like the biggest celebrity in the world, right?
Right, right.
It's gonna be a lot of shit. I could see Bad Bunny pulling out in 619. I could see Bad Bunny doing the Canadian Destroyer again. I'm interested in seeing what he does and how he plays into the street fight thing. Again, I love the street fight stipulation because it hides the fact that he can't actually do like a real like regular match. But you also have the opportunity to have Rey Mysterio come out, have the LWO come out, have Judgment Day come out, and treat this like a really fun little match. And I loved the Ray Dom match from last month at WrestleMania, and if it continues on that kind of path of just like the good overbooking, then I think this will be a really fun match.
I think so too. Um, the celebs haven't really dropped the ball in any kind of way as of yet. So you know what? I'm kind of for it.
Yep.
Let's see where it
But
goes.
yeah,
I'm gonna pick. Actually, I'm going to pick. I'll pick Bad Bunny for the win. Why not?
I'll pick Bad Bunny too. I think that why not? Why not? It's Bunny's rules. It's remember they had those like fully loaded DX and all that shit. This is Bad Bunny's pay per view.
Yeah, essentially, for sure.
So I think Backlash is gonna be a fun show. I don't know if it's gonna be like the barn burner, like next level. I think they're saving that for end of the month for Night of Champions, but it should be a really fun show. It comes on Saturday. It's definitely we're definitely getting into a point of like we just came out of like wrestling overload, and we're about to go right back into it, Meals, because there's gonna be so many pay per views coming up this summer. Like we got Night of Champions. There's a bunch of AEW pay per views coming up. There's obviously Money in the Bank. There's SummerSlam. This summer's gonna be pretty stacked. So really excited about what comes up, and we'll be back next week with all the information and all of the happenings post draft for you guys on the A Show. Thank you for listening. Of course, you can go and listen to the Rewriters Room, which is back now, starring Armand and the gang. Also, the War Report. Quan will be back this week with Cyrus talking about the latest and greatest in AEW. Hey, I just saw the All In 35K tickets sold already for Wembley. Too easy. Too easy. Way too easy.
That's a good look.
It's a good look. Will it change their business? I don't know. We'll see. But thank you guys for listening. For Meelz, I am Justin, and we'll see you guys next week on The A Show. Peace.